Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Dani and today it's time for the M&M'S TBR for February. Before we go in February, let's see how I did in January. In January, the M&M'S picked these 3 books for me and 2 more that I don't have here with me. So this one, the first one was House Moving Castle, which was for A Colorful Spine, which I read. Americana, which was a friend pick, which I kind of DNF'd but not forever, maybe, I don't know. I want to go back to it at some point, but it was just so slow, so long. I really love what Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has to say. I really loved her nonfiction, but I felt like this book was just way too long and slow. Just I couldn't read more than like 5 pages at a time. So I put it down. I want to go back to it if I'm in the right mood. But for this month, it was a DNF, unfortunately. And then we have Frankenstein, which was for a sci-fi pre-1950, which I read. The next one was Fables, which was a reread from more than 5 years ago, which I also read. And last but not least was Buy a Book, which I was going to use the Crate book that I was going to receive in January, but I didn't receive it yet. Today is January 24th, so there's still a little bit of time to get the book. And it should be a quick read, so if I do get it in January, I will be able to read it in January. If not, it's not my fault, so I don't think I should put a challenge for myself, although I should have known that the book was not going to arrive in time. But it is what it is, and we'll just go with that, I guess. I even asked on Twitter if I should give a challenge for myself, and one person who answered said no, because it's not my fault. So that's what we're doing, just going to keep just normal game plan for February. So these were the prompts that I got last month, and as I said in the new rules, if it's the first time that you're watching this, I'm going to leave that link down in the description and in the cards as well. I'm just going to keep the advent calendar prompts in the board if I have not completed them yet, and I completed all 3 of the ones that I got. The other 2 are going back in the Hobbit bag. And because the 3 books that I read in January were for the advent calendar prompts, there's no other prompt that I could remove from the board. I am reading one other book, which is The Way of Kings Volume 1, and if I complete that, I can check if it fits any of the advent calendar prompts next month, but I don't think it does anyway, so we're okay. One last thing before we start the game, I wanted to shout out some of my favorite TBR games from YouTube. And if you have a TBR game, please leave that in the comments as well, because I would love to check it out. And it's just so much fun to watch. So my all-time favorite game is Cody's, from Cody's Book Corner. Her Rule of TBR is just what inspired me to start in the first place when I had a TBR game that looked much different than this one. Jade from Jade Ray Reads with her TBR Pursuit is just so much fun to watch. Becca's Bookopoly is just one that I think everyone knows, and I have to shout out because it's just so much fun. If you don't know, you should, they're all linked in the description, so definitely check it out. Maddie's Dart Attack, just so much fun. I love watching her play darts every month. Emily from M Likes Books, she also has a TBR ABC of TBR, if I'm not wrong, and it's just a lot of fun as well. She uses a dice that has letters in it to fit the prompts that she has, and it's just a lot of fun. I love watching TBR games. There are so many more that I watch sporadically, but I don't watch every month for some reason. I wish I could have, on my YouTube subscriptions, all the people who has TBR games, so in the beginning of the month I can just go and binge all the TBR games, because sometimes it gets lost in all of the other subscriptions, and that's just unfortunate because I just have a lot of fun. Gavin's Player TBR Right, also so much fun. He's just such a fun person to watch in general, and I recommend all these channels, of course, and so many more. As I remember more TBR games and watch more TBR games, I will keep shouting them out in my videos, because it's just a fun thing to do in the beginning of every month. And now we can start. So first we need to replace the prompt that we picked last month, and let's see what's going to go in there. Black author. So if this comes up, I have to pick a book by a Black author. Every month I pick 5 books, and this month it's not going to be different, but I already have 2 books that I'm definitely going to read in February because they're out in February, and it's by my two favorite authors, so I have to put them in the M&M'S TBR some way. The first one is Game Changer by Neil Schusterman, the second one is A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Novelle. I have both of them pre-ordered and I'm going to read them in February. So what I'm going to do is, the first 3 prompts that I get, I'm going to try to fit one of these 2 books. If I can't do that, I'm just going to pick 3 prompts and then the 2 final books are going to be these 2 books, because I don't want to sabotage myself by picking 5 books here if I know that I'm going to prioritize the other 2. You get what I mean? But let's hope that I can fit those books in the prompts so that I can pick 5 prompts. Let's do this. The first M&M for the first book is brown. We're definitely getting a lot of browns in this year. I don't know if they changed the bags somehow, but we're getting a lot of browns. The second M&M for the first book is brown again. As I said, we're getting a lot of browns. This is perfect. The prompt that I got was of or the, and that means that I have to pick a book that has one of these words in the title. And guess what? A History of What Comes Next definitely has of in the title. So that's definitely going to be the first book on my M&M'S TBR for February. It comes out on February 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just so excited for it. Sylvain Novelle is the author who wrote The Theme is Files, Sleeping Giants, Waking Gods, and Only Human, which is one of my favorite sci-fi series. And I just can't wait to read his next sci-fi series. All I know about it is literally nothing, I think. I read the synopsis a few times and honestly it didn't make any sense to me, but the series is called Take Me to the Stars, I think, which is exciting, and I don't know anything else about it. So definitely going to be a big surprise for me. I'm thinking about doing a reading vlog of both of the books that I mentioned, Game Changer and The History of What Comes Next, because they're maybe my most anticipated books of the whole year. So I think it's going to be fun to do a reading vlog of them, and I will tell you more about the synopsis of the book when I have it. Let's replace the prompt. Let me get something in the middle. This one. Okay, another one. This paper is too thick. There. Book! Yes! So this prompt, if you can see it, if the camera focuses, it has the green and red thing around the card, which means that it's an advent calendar prompt. If I pick this one, I have to pick any book from the advent calendar prompts. No, any book from the advent calendar. Just one of the 12 books that was recommended to me in those videos. Let's go to the second book now. The first M&M for the second book is green. Second M&M for the second book is orange. Second chance. This prompt is a different one. That is not a prompt that someone sent to me. This prompt means that I have to pick from one of the prompts that was not picked in the advent calendar. So all the prompts that were picked by the M&Ms in the advent calendar series are here, and the ones that were not picked, because each booktuber sent me 2, I put in this box. So second chance means that I have to pick a prompt that was not picked before, and that's very exciting. It has all the names of the people here, so we'll see how it goes. I don't want to look. This one, Mary. Her channel is Mary Among Stories, and I definitely recommend you check her out. And I don't remember what was the second prompt that she sent. Ooh, interesting. It's a book you know nothing about. And that would work very well for A History of What Comes Next, because as you saw, I don't know anything about it. But I think I have another option that would be very cool because I just received the Craig Jr. from December and I haven't read the synopsis. I literally know nothing about it and it's just so gorgeous and I'm so excited to read it even though I have no idea what it is about. So for this prompt, I'm going to read A Clock of Stars, The Shadow Moth by Francesca Gibbons, illustrated by Chris Riddell. I did look at the illustrations a little bit, but I have no idea what the story is about. I would guess there's a big bird and a girl flies in the bird, but I really don't know. And I'm just going to read it without knowing anything. I think that's the idea of the prompt. So this is the book that I'm reading. Sorry I don't have a synopsis for you because I don't know, but it's just so pretty and I'm very excited. If I read A Clock of Stars, it will definitely fit for an animal and cover, or maybe a wolf or animal and the story. So next month, if I have completed this book, I can take one of these two prompts out of the board. Let's replace the prompt. I'm already so excited about my TBR. Buy a book. It has to stay in the board, right? Last month when I got buy a book as a prompt, I didn't have any books that I was wanting to purchase at the time. But this month, if I get it, there are a few manga that I was already putting in my cart. So it would be perfect. The third book now, the first M&M for the third book is green. And the second M&M for the third book is brown. So now we only get greens and browns. I don't know what that means. But I got the prompt fantasy, which means that I can put anything, almost, that I want to read in this prompt because there's a lot of fantasy that I want to read. I'm not sure if Game Changer is more of a fantasy or a sci-fi, so I'm not going to risk putting it in this prompt. I'm just going to pick another fantasy book. I know that I should be putting the advent calendar books in this prompts. I could fit quite a few of them in the fantasy prompt, but I got the arc of Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, and I just can't wait to read it. So thankfully the M&Ms helped me here to put this book in my TBR, and that's what we're doing. I'm going to read Witches Steeped in Gold. It comes out in April, and I'm very excited that I get to read it to tell you what I think about it before it comes out. It is a Jamaican-inspired fantasy with witches, betrayal, revenge. So the short paragraph says, sworn enemies, these two witches enter a deadly alliance to take down a mutual threat. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain except the lengths they will go to win this game. I'm so excited for it, and it's going over to TBR. Let's replace the prompt. Let me shuffle them a little bit. Okay. Going with this one. A to Z author. If this comes up, I have to use a random generator to pick a letter, and that letter has to be the first letter of the author's name or last name. This is the fourth book. If I can't fit Game Changer in this prompt that I will get now, I'm not going to pick a fifth prompt because Game Changer is going to be the fifth book. The first M&M for the fourth book is orange. Unfortunately, I don't think Game Changer fits in any of these categories. I don't know if it's a series, I don't think so. So it won't fit on any of them. Unless I get husband pick and he picks Game Changer. But I don't know if he would. So it's probably going to be the fifth book. The second M&M for the fourth book is brown. Okay, so we did get husband pick. And I'm going to check with him what he wants me to read in February. Okay, so for husband's pick, he picked A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, which was almost a pick for the advent calendar, but it wasn't because we got the other book that was recommended. But it's still a book that I really want to read. It's a book that he loves, and I'm excited to share my thoughts about this book with him and with all of you. I don't know a lot about the plot, the story of this book either. All I know is that it happens in Afghanistan, and It doesn't say the year, but it says that in the last 30 years, but when this book was published, so it's a while back. And it's a tale of two generations of characters brought jarringly together by the tragic sweep of war. I'm very excited because it's a different thing from what I usually read, and I think it's going to be very fun. Well, a very interesting read. Probably not a fun read. And if I complete this book in February, I can take the number in the title prompt of the board. So it's a double incentive for me. And like I said before, I'm not going to pick a fifth prompt from the board because I don't want to sabotage my reading in February when I have two highly anticipated novels to read. So the fifth book is going to be Game Changer by Neil Shusterman. What I know about it is that it's about a boy who hits his head while playing football and he gets a concussion, and I think he's sent to another dimension. That's all I know. I don't need to know anything else about a Neil Shusterman book to pick it up and to put it in my 5-star prediction immediately. Other than that, this is what I'm going to read in the month, so which is Steeped in Gold, A Clock of Stars, and 1,000 Splendid Suns, and A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Novelle. And now I'm thinking that by doing this, not picking a fifth book, I'm completely ruining my statistics of colors picked in the months for the M&M'S TBR. So I don't know if I should pick a fifth book and just risk not putting Game Changer and maybe not completing my TBR. So if you thought this video was over, here I am. I'm going to pick a fifth prompt from the board. I know that I said in the beginning that I wouldn't, but I could potentially still fit Game Changer in the fifth prompt, or I could pick a shorter book to make sure that I can get through the other 5 full-length novels that I want to get through. And like I said, the reason for that is because I want to keep track of the statistics of this just for fun. I want to see how many M&Ms of each color we're getting, which prompts we're getting, if we're repeating prompts and things like that. And if I pick only 4 this month and 5 other months and don't keep it consistent, the data in the end is not going to be as reliable, which is something that honestly doesn't matter at all, but I want to have it the pretty thing in the end. So we're picking a fifth book, or a fifth prompt at least. I'm still going to try to fit, if Game Changer fits in the prompt, it's going to be it. But let's replace the prompt. Instagram recommends. If I pick this up, I'm just gonna scroll through Instagram, and the first book that comes up that I have on my TBR, I'm going to read. And the first M&M for the final book is... Oh, I got 2. Let's try again. Brown, of course. The second M&M for the final book is... Yellow. Okay, the M&M gods were listening to me because we got Mood Read. That means that I can simply pick a book that I want during the month. And guess which book that I want? I'm going to put Game Changer in the final M&M prompt. This worked perfectly. I should have trusted the M&Ms and just picked 5 prompts. I should have trusted. So nothing changed. We have these 3 books plus A History of What Comes Next and Game Changer. And I can't wait to read all of these books. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye!